Hi YouTube. Never underestimate the power of YouTube. I was sitting on my couch about 3 weeks ago surfing through videos, and I came upon this video about a Dutch bucket system. What the heck is a Dutch bucket system, I asked. So I started looking at that video and others and became completely entranced and excited by the Dutch bucket system. So I wanted to get back to the community, show people what I did, and keep in mind that time on the couch was only 3 weeks ago. So here's what I've done in the last 3 weeks. Before me is my greenhouse. I call it my green greenhouse. As you can see, the roof has solar panels, about 6.5 kilowatts of solar capacity. My greenhouse is essentially a lean-to on my garden shed. The garden shed, believe it or not, was built in the 1750s. It's been modernized quite a bit since then, needless to say. So let's go into the garden house and I'll show you what I have. It's about 32 degrees right now. March 12th, I believe. Freezing. There's ice on the ground. So here's the garden shed. Okay, YouTube, here's the inside of my garden shed. Hard to believe this was built in the 1750s. Actually, it was not a garden shed originally, it was a hog shed. I actually have some old pictures which show hogs down in the bottom of the building. Apparently the farmer used to throw food down into this area and the hogs would come in from the outside. I've converted it slowly over many years to arrive at what it is now. It's interesting to look at some of the old construction. Here you can see wooden pegs. The original structure was built without the use of nails. Good old Pennsylvania Dutch know-how, which is sort of what got me thinking about the Dutch buckets. That's what sort of piqued my interest in the first place. So there is my garden shed, and over here you can see my inverter for the solar system up on the roof, and here is the door to my greenhouse. Let's go inside. Okay, we're in the greenhouse now. Let's look at the temperature. I don't know if you all can see that, but it's 77 degrees in here. It's amazing to think it's 32 degrees outside. The wind is blowing. It's almost a sanctuary inside here. Feels like summertime. I typically use my greenhouse to winter over my house plants. Here you can see petunias that we've saved from the winter frost, and all sorts of geraniums. These geraniums in the background are probably about 6 or 7 years old. So that's up until now been our primary function of our greenhouse. Here's a ficus tree. That loud noise that you hear is my circulating fans. I use that to keep the air moving and avoid cold spots. Let's turn off that noisy fan. Okay, we got some peace and quiet. So there is my Dutch bucket system. Mind you, 3 weeks ago this did not exist. I built this using steel pipe, readily available at Home Depot and Lowe's. I use these real awesome fittings, which make it so much easier. The fittings work with little set screws. Basically use a chop saw to cut the pipe, and then just sleeve it into the fitting, tighten up the set screw. So in a matter of a couple hours, I was able to build this frame. This frame is 16 feet long, and I used 38 Beto buckets, which you can see here. They all drain into a PVC tube on either side of the 16-foot shelf. Each Beto bucket is served by a common pipe coming up the center, and off of those that common pipe are individual water feed lines to each of the 38 Beto buckets. I have each Beto bucket filled with hydroton, not hydroton as I quickly learned, but hydroton, which is really cool. It's just expanded clay pellets, and you know, it's completely soil-free system. Here are some tomatoes, which, I believe it or not, I started from seed just 3 weeks ago. I started them in rock wool. I don't know whether you guys can see that, but little rock wool pellets, and under a grow light for about a week. And about 2 weeks ago, I transplanted the plants into these buckets. Coming down the line is some bok choy. I don't know what the heck it really is, but I'm gonna cook it up and see how good it is. Over here is some lettuce, which I had growing in soil. I basically washed off the soil and put it into the Beto buckets. I'm amazed at how quickly things grow with this hydroponic Dutch bucket system. I was very frustrated with growing things in soil in the greenhouse. I could never quite get things to grow. The soil dried out so quickly. What's so neat about the Dutch bucket system is that each individual plant is continually irrigated. So, even under the extreme heat inside the greenhouse, as you can see, these plants are well nourished, well watered, and never overwatered, since the water completely drains down through the Beto bucket into this common drain line, and the water gets circulated back into my holding tank, which you can see right there. That's a 25-gallon holding tank, I believe. Inside there is a hydroponic solution, which is pumped up through a 850-gallon per hour pump, up into these Beto buckets, draining back down into this PVC pipe, and the cycle repeats itself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Right here is a makeup water tank, which I've installed. There's loss each day from evaporation, spillage, splashing, excuse me. And so this 55-gallon drum, believe it or not, every couple of weeks, I got to fill this thing back up. There's a substantial amount of water loss each day just from evaporation. But what's so cool about this system here is, even if you didn't have water in your structure or greenhouse or what have you, all you really have to do is just keep this basin filled with water, and you could put this system anywhere you want. It could be a standalone system. I have the luxury here of water inside my greenhouse. This is a big frost-free hydrant. But if I didn't have that luxury, this system would work. It's essentially a closed loop, standalone system. Uses a low wattage 850 gallon per hour pump, and it's pretty cool. And I can tell you, I come out here each day and I see measured growth, you know, something I never saw in a soil system. Up here on the ceiling, I've installed a series of wires which run the length of the beta bucket system. There's 7 wires, and it's kind of a common trellis system. You know, you really don't use plant stakes or cages in a hydroponic system. You pretty much use these things that are called stringers. And it's my, you know, plan to, for instance, to let these sugar snap peas grow up the line and up and over this trellis system that I have. Sort of pick peas from the ceiling, hopefully one day soon. So it's been really cool. I apologize if I've used the incorrect terminology, but keep in mind 3 weeks ago I didn't know what the heck a Dutch bucket system was, and I scarcely had any knowledge of what a hydroponic system is. So I wanted to get back to the community and show you what I've done. If anyone has any questions, feel free to contact me. If anyone wants to look at this firsthand, I'm in south central Pennsylvania, right outside of Gettysburg, in the town of East Berlin, Pennsylvania. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.